Hey guys, welcome to video number 3 in the Yeti to Party Stamp-A-Stack class. Are you Yeti to party? This was card number 1. You're joining us in video 3 of a 3-part series. This was 1. You'll find these videos linked below. This was design number 2. And design number 1 and 2, the Stamp-A-Stack kit makes 3 each. And now we're in design number 3. And then design number 2 and number 3 are Wonder Recipe number 6 cards. So this Wonder Recipe makes 2 of the Holiday Hugs and Winter Wishes. If you remember from video 2, we have our designer series paper pieces all cut up according to the Wonder Recipe number 6 and waiting for us in the grid. So let's grab those. And this is the last of our designer series paper from the Wonder Recipe. Wonder Recipe is a 1-sheet wonder, 6x6 1-sheet wonder. Cut up a 6x6 paper, use all the pieces. You can multiply by cutting more sheets of 6x6 paper. So this particular 2 sheets made 5 cards. If you did 4 sheets, it would make 10 cards, you see? So it's a 1-sheet wonder that you can multiply by how many sheets you cut. And so for this design, we're gonna do a tree and a snowflake and a tree for one of our copies. And for the other copy, we're going to do snowflake, trees, snowflakes. So we've got our designer series paper pieces doled out. Now we're going to do our background. When I'm doing a Stamp-A-Stack, I do all my backgrounds at once. So I would have, if I was just doing these cards to do a Stamp-A-Stack most efficiently as possible, I would have done all of my embossing, my backgrounds at one time for all 8 cards. But for the sake of the video, I want to show you this. I went ahead and did one ahead of time. I'm just going to sort my pieces really quick here. So I got my tags, and I've got my beautiful little stitched hearts. The tags are crumb cake. The stitched hearts are Calypso Coral. And we used the Celebrations tags dies to cut these ahead of time for you. This is the Celebrations tags, and it's a foldable tag. We just split that in half and we get 2. And then the larger stitched heart. If you're cutting your own, that's where those parts came from. Our card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4 mint macron. We're gonna emboss our remaining card base using the Whimsical Trees folder. And this one, we're gonna emboss instead of deboss, and we're gonna do it landscape instead of portrait. So we've got our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, number 1, our card and folder. Now for the folder, we're going to emboss. So we got the Stampin' Up side up. We're gonna put the card base into the folder. Now if you do not like to run your folder sideways through the machine, I completely understand. You can do this with a 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel of mint macron cardstock, and then just glue it to your card base. But I'm going to go ahead and run this through sideways. Oops, I almost did it upside down. Got to go the other way. We need the trees to point upward toward the fold, so the fold goes out the top of the folder. And I'm going to slide in the back of the card first. The fold is going to be on the edge here, and this is at your own risk. Do this at your own risk, because you can, if you let this edge of the folder rub against the inside edge of your machine, you can actually take the hinge right off your folder, and you end up with 2 pieces instead of a folder. You get a front and a back separate, and it's useless. So do this at your own risk. If you're going to do this, make sure everything's all squared up. You've got you've got your paper inside your folder all squared up with the platform number 1 below. You're going to add number 4 over the top. Make sure everything's all squared up, and you're going to proceed very cautiously to roll this sandwich through the machine, making sure that the sandwich doesn't touch the machine at all on the inside on either side. It takes a little extra effort, but the results that you get when you have that edge to edge embossing on your card front from the fold to the open, from side to side, is really kind of a fun option to have creatively. So there we've got our entire card front embossed edge to edge. Let's fold it up with a bone folder. And in here are designer series paper, layers, and tag. Now, just like in video number 1, you'll see, I'll go from the back and not press the image too hard. We don't want to flatten the image. I added the tag behind one of the designer series papers to be just an accent, a bow and a scallop accent. So we're going to have to tie our bows first using our pal papaya ribbon. We're going to slide the ribbon from the front to the back through the tag. Get about a hand length of ribbon. So from your palm to your longest, your middle finger, that's about what you want. And then you're going to, from the front of the tag, loop up, don't twist, and then pinch that, hold that loop, swoop over the top. You notice I did not tie a big knot on the tag before I did it. That'll make your bow very bulky. And then you're just gonna tuck that space that you're holding with your fingers, tuck the ribbon through, loop, swoop, tuck. Now we're gonna pull the ears. And you'll see you've got your ears up, your tail's down. This is nice and flat. There's no big knot underneath there. You can adjust the size of your bow. And the best way to do that is hold the center, pull the tail. When you've got everything like you like it, pull to tighten, and then trim away from the card. And when you do it this way, that's all you'll throw away. Let's do that for the other tag. Now we can adhere our tags with the bows and the designer series paper, and you can layer the two accordingly. So let's go ahead and do that with one of these. We're going to add our tree designer series paper pieces first. We'll put them on the left and the right edges at kind of a fun tilty angle. First the right, then the left. I had the right just a little bit higher than the left. You can do whatever you like. Then we can add some glue to the back of the tag and some right down the center. Now we'll add our tag to the card and a little bit of glue on our designer series paper, to the tag. And everything is very easy to slide right now and adjust and arrange. So take advantage, get everything the way you like it, and then burnish it down. And we're going to do that for our second copy of the card. This time though, we're going to do opposites. So we're going to have the snowflakes on the right and left edges. So our right, left a little lower, adhesive on the back and down the center of the front of the tag. Just lay that on there. A little adhesive on the back of the tree paper. And while everything's still wet, we can slide, change our angles a little bit, move up or down. When we've got it the way we like it, burnish it all down. Cutie. Next, this stitched heart. We'll go ahead and add that. One on each. And now it's time to stamp. I'm going to take what's left from stamping one set of our Yeti. You get 3 half sheets of basic white cardstock. It'll be plenty to stamp Yetis for all 8 of your cards and all their accessories. I went ahead and I did one set of my Yeti, the mug, the bird, and the greeting. Now we're going to do a second set. We're stamping in soft suede. Now let's stamp our Yeti. He's just so cute. Every time I stamp him, it's delightful. And a mug. Now the mug and the bird and the Yeti all have dies. So we'll do that with the dies. We're gonna fussy cut the greeting. So you've got holiday hugs, the little empire stand. Not enough ink on that one. Better. Winter wishes. Not enough ink on that one. Better. All right. See, there's plenty even for a couple of extras just in case they don't stamp perfect. Let's go ahead and cut out our greetings. So I want my holiday hugs, winter wishes, my better of the two empire stands. What I'm going to do is just kind of wiggle cut this with a little white border, and the wiggle happens in your non-dominant hand. Dominant hand opens and closes the scissors. The non-dominant hand wiggles the paper. Leave a little white border and trim out the words. But will I fussy cut this week? Go peek at the birds. I put everybody in the run. Daddy's working on the bin and probably not keeping 100% eye on them, so just peek and come back to your thing. All right, there's holiday hugs. Get our little emperor stand here. And if you don't want to cut this out, don't even worry about it. Don't cut it out. Stamp it on the heart, stamp it on a tag, stamp it on the inside. Whatever makes you happy. I know that everybody loves to fussy cut, but I just love the way that these little greetings look as embellishments from time to time. All right, let's bring our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in. Oh, no, let's bring our Stampin' Blends in and color. We're gonna do dark balmy blue. We're doing our Yeti the same as before with the light crumb cake, light soft suede, light calypso coral, and the color lifter. And I'm gonna start with my little mug here, and I'm gonna color the mug and the bird with balmy blue. Because I stamped in soft suede, which isn't a non-reactive ink, I'm not going over that snowflake. I did go around it. We don't want to bleed the ink. We also gave it a little bit of time to dry while we were cutting our greeting, so that's important if you're going to use a water-based ink like the Stampin' Up! Inks with your Stampin' Blends. Give it time to dry and don't go over the lines more than you have to. If you get a little bit of bleeding, check out the first video where I showed you how to kind of push the ink, if it bleeds, back deeper into the cardstock. And just as we were creating the card, you can just use your color lifter to clean up small mistakes with bleeding. All right, we're going to do the same technique with the Yeti, little open circles. Fill them in with those open circles, not solid. We want to see white spaces using crumb cake. And then we're going to get them looking fuzzy using our color lifter. So fill, but not a solid fill. Now the same idea, little open circles. Go over the crumb cake with color lifter, leaving those open spaces. Those open spaces will leave some of the crumb cake a little bit darker. The places where you're going over and applying color lifter will push the crumb cake deeper into the cardstock, making a lighter streaks and darker speckles. And after we've done the whole Yeti, he starts to look like he's got fur, maybe even a little fuzzy or matted fur. I just love this dude. And then you can see the difference between his arm with the smooth crumb cake and his legs is starting to look like fuzzy and furry as the color lifter does its work and pushes that crumb cake deeper into the cardstock. So super cool technique for anything that you want to color, give a little texture of fur or fuzz. You can do some big scribbles too to even add a little bit more of that fuzzy effect. The horns are light soft suede, and I'm going to go one more time over the cheeks to kind of soften that calypso coral again. We want it to look like he's a chilly Yeti with pink cheeks, not like he's wearing clown makeup. You can hit that 2 or 3 times until you get a nice soft effect. If you haven't seen it yet, then you haven't been watching my video series, but there is now Yeti dies. Love the Yeti dies. This would be the perfect one to add a scarf onto him. Did you see the Yeti dies have a scarf? I'm sticking to the original plan here and to the kit, but this would be the perfect design for that scarf. Just saying, maybe even in Calypso Coral cardstock scrap and do a scarf to bring a little more of that Calypso Coral to the party. But we're gonna go ahead and die cut out our Yeti, our cup, and our bird. We've got a die for each. This will only take 1 pass for each copy of the card. I love a card that does all the die cutting in 1 pass. Line these guys up. I did the original set of cards with fussy cut because I didn't know there were dies coming. So it's totally possible to do without the dies with just the stamp set. But why not get the dies while you can? And that leads me to tell you that they are while supplies last. Stampin' Up! Will not be adding them into any future publication, and they will not be back ordering or reordering these dies. So if it's something that you want, get it while you can. And if you don't have Yeti to Party yet, you can order the Yeti dies and the Yeti to Party stamp set together in a bundle and save 10%, which is really awesome. I had the stamp set already, so I didn't get to save 10%, but Demonstrator saved 20% every day and get to stack that on top of host rewards and all kinds of other good benefits. So I'm not too upset about it. All right, let's bring in our cards, our Yetis. I did one ahead of time. And here's our another Yeti, the one that we just cut out. Yeti's gonna go on with some liquid glue. Everything else is gonna go on with a little dimensionals. Of course, you can do what you like, but I like the variation that the flat Yeti with the greeting kind of popped over him and the cup popped up in his hand. I like that kind of up down. So we'll add some liquid glue, get our Yeti on the card. I like the placement. It's little heels on the heart. Hand extends toward the ribbon, the knot there. And that's a pretty good placement. This one's a little low. We can move up just a bit. There. Here's where minis are gonna come in real handy. Got the edges on these, and it's going to be fantastic for our little bird. Just put a little tiny strip. You can cut some little squares and little strips for the sentiment, and then for the cup and the bigger part of the greeting, we can use the minis, and it's perfect. So let's get some dimensional on the back of all for a little bird and sentiment bits. Right. I think everybody's sticky. I got the pieces of both cards scrambled up a little bit here, and I got the ands stuck to my thumb. So let's go ahead and add Holiday Hugs, Winter Wishes, and then we can add the little and sign. We'll do that for both copies. Get the greeting on there. I love this little 2-part or 3-part greeting. It's just adds so much texture and character to our card. Get the little and. Now I got no and stuck to my thumbs anymore. That's nice. We'll put a bird on top, like perched on the little T. And this one too needs a little bird perched on the T. This is the beauty of Stamp-A-Stack. You just do each thing all at once. You do all of your coloring, all of your cutting, all of your embossing, all of everything. You really get a lot of cards done quickly. And there's our cards. Now lastly, look at that gorgeous sparkle. So we've got fine sparkle adhesive gems in your kit. You got 3 strips from each color. And we're going to use this one that's like balmy blue, and we're going to get a little crazy with the gems on this one. I'm going to do 3 in the bottom corner here, kind of around Winter Wishes, And then I'm going to put 2 up here kind of by my Yeti's cup. So there's 5 on these cards. You can do as many or as few as you want. I don't usually do 5 on any card, but this one just seemed to be able to support the extra sparkle, and it added so much. So there is our holiday hugs and winter wishes card. You are done with the Yeti to Party Stampa stack. We've made 8 amazing cards for birthday, Christmas, and winter. If you've got any questions about the project, you can email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com to see if there are still class packets available. Go to kitchentablestamper.com/shop. Sort on the right-hand side using the filter for class packets. And if we have any of these packets still available, you'll be able to pick one up there. And to shop Stampin' Up! 24/7 with me, please buzz over to Marisa Alvarez, that's stampinup.net, and click shop. That's where you can pick up your Yeti to Party bundle during the Perfect Partners promotion. So this is September 1st through the 30th. These are available for a limited time while supplies last, and Stampin' Up! Has let demonstrators know that they will not be adding these dies into any publication. So get these bundles. There's 6 of them while supplies last. Waterfall dies, tree trimming dies, playful piggy dies, apple harvest or apple blossom dies, and fresh cut stems dies. Or if you haven't gotten the stamp sets for those yet, you can bundle them up and save 10%. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.